Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Danny, the Wicked Awesome Gardener, and we are out here for our first garden tour of the year. So we're here at the home garden. We'll do a tour at the community garden a little bit later this week, and it's looking rough because we've had some bunny issues and a week of rain have caused the weeds to go a little crazy. So I'll show you what I'm doing over there. But for now, let's take a look at what we've got planted finally here in the home garden. So the garden's looking a little empty, and this is not where I like to be at this time of year, but with the weird spring weather, my health, and then kind of putting myself like into somebody else's garden space, it's been kind of weird, and I wasn't planting the way that I would normally like to. So let's just show you what we do have here, and then I'm going to take you around to look at some of the beautiful flowers that we have going. So under this trellis, we planted some beans, and I think today the first little bean sprout is just popping up, which means I have to get that fence up here because the bunnies are going to be at these relentlessly. And I don't have that much trellis space this year, so, you know, I've got to make do with what I have, so I can't sacrifice one bean to those little bunnies. It feels like it took me forever to get my tomatoes out, and I didn't plant as many as I would like. I still have like 2 trays of tomatoes, but they've got to go to the family garden and the canning garden. We just haven't had much time to get there yet. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have that set. But let's talk about what we've got for tomatoes. Over there in the front corner we have a Get Stuffed Giant Crimson, yay, Thorburns Lemon Blush, Cherokee Purple. Now, none of my Cherokee Purple starts did very well, but my dad happened to pick one up that was really nice and healthy looking, so there it is. Over there we've got the Paul Robeson, a True Black Brandywine, and a Pink Brandywine. Then over here in the last row we have a Sugar Pud, Costaludo Genovese, Berkeley Tie-Dye, and Gold Medal. So we're going to have a variety of colors and maybe not so much sizes. These are all big slicers. The cherry tomatoes are going into the family garden, and the paste tomatoes for the most part, because the Costaludo Genovese is a sauce tomato. For the most part, all the paste tomatoes are going into the canning garden. So then we have my peppers, which I've got planted out. I do have a bunch more. Those are all jalapeno for the canning garden, but we have some bell pepper. It's California Wonder bell peppers, jalapenos, and I think one remaining lute shower. I think it's the one in the center, but I can't remember. But I mean, those are definitely the jalapenos, so I'm gonna say that's the lute shower. It looks different from all the others. Over here is pretty empty right now. I'm gonna get some eggplant in here, and I think I'm gonna do all zucchini in here because I just love lots of zucchini. And here are the potatoes, and these are not the potatoes that I put in. You know what? I'm gonna do another row of potatoes here, and I'll do some zucchini and the eggplant. That'll do it. These are potatoes that my dad got. He got a bunch of seed potatoes. And then we have some onion sets. And this garlic here grew from garlic that was left in the ground by accident years before, and it just kind of keeps regrowing. So we've got, it's definitely a hardneck garlic because you can see we've got the scapes growing. And I'm going to let those scapes keep on growing out because I want to harvest them and make a pesto, even though there's only a few, so it's going to be the tiniest amount of pesto ever, but that's okay with me. I really wanted to dig out this other area here because the garden did used to extend over here about 6 feet, and it just got to be kind of overwhelming this year. So I'm not going to do that for this year, but I'm going to prepare it in the fall so that I don't have this massive amount of weeds to pull out. I'm going to go cover it with some cardboard and mulch and do kind of like a lasagna style bed and get it ready for the fall. But over here we do have a bit of bare dirt, and so I'm going to take this from over here. My dad has, you can see we have kind of like the farm store, and by the way, this area right here, this is where the chicken coop is going to go once I clear out all of this. I've got to clear all this, go get my chicken coop from the yard, and bring it back over here, clear all of this out, and make my wonderful little chicken yard. But we've got this old, it's not exactly a cattle panel, but just an old wire bit of fence. So I'm going to take that, put that over here. And so I'm not going to be growing up both sides of it, but I will plant my cucumber along here and grow it up over the trellis like that. And then over here we have my poor neglected green stalk. I feel very badly. I just have not had time to come and plant this out. And it's getting a little bit late to put in bare root strawberries. So all I have are the strawberries that I got from Garden to Table with Heather Lynn. And what are those bugs? Oh, we can keep those. Those are baby ladybugs. Oh, you can all stay. I like you. So since I didn't really get all the extra garden space that I wanted to, I'm gonna take this. Oh, and hello, Mr. Spider. Hello, you can stay there too. That's fine. I feel bad, I'm gonna disturb your web though. So I'm gonna take this green stalk and I'm going to plant it out with bush beans and kale, and I'm gonna just kind of enjoy that for what it can be and use that for extra growing space that I did not have in the garden. See, these things come in handy. Now, we had a bit of a problem with my container asparagus, and that problem's name is Bob. It's my dad. He got curious as to what I was doing here, despite the fact that I had explained to him what I was doing here, and he decided to come in and dig around in here, and he found the roots, and he's like, oh, they're asparagus roots. And he just didn't put them back right. So I lost like everything except for this one bare root that put up one stalk. And so I'm letting it grow and fern out, but it's so tiny and spindly, I don't know if it's going to survive. And so this whole experiment might be a bust, and I may have to redo it next year, which stinks. It kind of defeats the purpose of trying to get a jump on asparagus to be able to put it in my garden when I move. But oh well, we tried. Dang it, Bob. My mint from last year has come back lovely, so I'm going to start harvesting off of this and drying some mint for teas. Then we have the shampoo ginger, which now that it is outside full time, it is growing beautifully, putting off a lot more leaves, not as spindly as it was down low. So I think now that it's out, it's just going to take off. I can't wait for those flowers. So that's about where my part of the gardening kind of falls off, and I'm going to take you now for a quick tour around the house of all the beautiful perennials that are growing here. So first up we have this grapevine of my father's, and it's been growing here for, oh God, decades, several decades. The only thing is I don't remember it ever actually producing any grapes that tasted good, but it is what it is. It used to grow up here. There used to be a garage here, a big garage, and it would grow all the way down there. And you'll see that there's definitely more grapevine when we go down here. It's growing all over whatever this this bush tree is. You can see the grapes are everywhere. Speaking of getting everywhere, this tree is not actually a tree. This is a trumpet vine that's been trained to grow up like this, and it's amazing. I can't wait to see it all flowered out. Beautiful big bush here. My dad tells me that this is a Rose of Sharon, and I can't wait. I love Rose of Sharon when it's in bloom, so that's going to be really, really pretty. Okay, mostly along the side of the house is weeds, but look at this gorgeous, humongous white peony. And it's shot through with little bits of red. Just little bits. This bloom is bigger than my whole hand. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh. And it smells so good. I know I looked up and found out what this plant was called, but if somebody can remind me, it was really pretty just a couple of weeks ago. Now the Now the blossoms are a little bit past their prime, but so pretty. And really, I'm not sure what some of these others are. I mean, I know there's obviously ferns, but I don't quite know what these are. There's the trumpet vines popping up. But check this out. This is that rhubarb that I harvested from just 2.5 weeks ago. And look how gigantic it is again already. We've got a little bit of pest damage here coming on the leaves, and I don't know exactly what eats rhubarb, but the stalks are looking wonderful. So we're going to be harvesting some more of that pretty soon. This one here, too early, but these stalks that are red, totally ready to go. And it's crazy to think that I was looking at this just a week ago, and these leaves, these giant ones right here, were tiny little furled up leaves, and they just grow so fast. So I'm really excited about that and getting more rhubarb into the freezer. We definitely have some thorny overlooked patches, and now I'm going to apologize for street noise because we're going out to the front and it's going to be bad. I had to come out to the street where it's so noisy to show you this because there is beauty out here that just cannot be missed. Like this gorgeous rhododendron in full bloom. Look at that. It's amazing. Thing's got to be like 12 feet tall and just this huge crown of blossoms. Oh, it's spectacular. This giant overgrown rose bush definitely puts on a show though. And if you guys saw my short last week about the peonies, oh, the show has started. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty peony blooms. Look at how thick they are. It's crazy. We have a bunch more that are a little more shaded, so they're a little bit behind. So we're going to kind of have a succession of blooms. Here you see all my poor tomatoes that really, really need a home. They really need to get into the ground. Whole bunch of lily of the valley waiting to pop up. Another peony bush. And you guys gotta get a closer look at these roses. I don't know much about roses, whether these are tea roses or beach roses, or I don't even know. But this plant has been here as long as I can remember, and it's just been allowed to grow totally wild. So it's taking up a huge circumference. Like, look at that, all the way down. Just so many beautiful blooms, and it smells so pretty right now. So all in all, not a whole ton of my own gardening going on in this particular garden at the moment, but the tomatoes are in and they definitely bear my signature of variety, and I just can't wait to get a good harvest off of those. The peppers are in, potatoes are growing, we've got onions, we've got garlic, we've got strawberries, and there's going to be a lot of seeds being dropped today and tomorrow. So yeah, I've got to get on building that fence, getting the cucumbers in, setting up the area for the trellis, and make sure that those cucumbers, when they do come in, don't get choked out with weeds. So I will see you guys in our next video when we're going to do a garden tour of the community garden. So that should be up in a couple of days, and I will see you then. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, tell me about what's going on in your garden right now, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye-bye.